running times are now the quickest they have been all season, and as the sun sets over Daedalus, the men are already anticipating the forthcoming competition which has its roots in 19th century South Africa. The naval guns have a proud and practical history. During the Boer War, the army requested help to defend the township of Ladysmith in the Natal. 4.7-inch guns were transferred from HMS Doris to HMS Powerful, and they were landed at Durban along with the guns from the Terrible. From there, the gun crews were compelled to journey 189 miles to Ladysmith with an assortment of artillery pieces. The largest of these guns were huge and permanently fixed, but they were made mobile by the use of hastily constructed carts pulled by teams of oxen. The oxen proved less hardy than the sailors, and as they became exhausted or defective, the gun crews grabbed the drag ropes and manhandled the guns over mountains, rivers and chasms, fortified by the ample supplies of oxen meat. The inhospitable terrain and even more inhospitable Boer raiders relentlessly took their toll. But the crews eventually overcame all obstacles to arrive at their beleaguered destination. The siege lasted 120 days, during which time the naval guns heroically kept the enemy at bay. This caught the imagination of the public, and when HMS Powerful returned to Portsmouth, the gun crews were treated as heroes. So it was that in 1907, a field gun competition was devised, using smaller guns and obstacles to represent some of the hazards of that historic trek. These early photographs are of the field gun crews in 1908 and 1911. The original pattern of the course has been somewhat modified over the years and now consists of a 5-foot home wall, a bottomless chasm, 28 feet wide with a ramp on each side, and an enemy wall, also 5 feet high. The task is quite simple. All you have to do is to move one of these and one of these with 18 of these. Easy. But when you have to get them all over a 28-foot bottomless chasm, then squeeze them through a 2-foot wide hole and fire 3 shots at the enemy, it becomes a little more difficult. And when you bring them back and fire 3 more shots before going through another 2-foot hole, reassemble the gun and limber and drag them away, it becomes even more difficult. And to do all this in less time than I have just taken to relate the field gun's history is virtually impossible. Or is it? It is impossible to demonstrate how strong these men are and how complicated their actions become during a run. However, let's join a training session on the track and obtain a flavor of just what is involved. The buffer will talk us through a training drill.
Right, the limb home wall, 14 and 16 on the drag ropes and 18 at the rear. They pull in the ropes and throw them over. 12 and 13 on the slats. 13 pulls the slat round and climbs the wall. He controls the angle of the slat poles. 14 and 16 lift it over and leap across and prepare the rig. Next over is the gun. 1 and 2 on the back, that's the heavy end. 3 and 4 shed the wheels and go to the axles for the launch. 1 gives a lift on the back. 1 and 2 make the lift. 3 and 4 lift and drive. 5 and 6 lift the trail, then they go over and push on the axles. And the gun goes over. 3 and 6 throw a wheel over, 1 and 4 throws a wheel over, 2 and 5 collect the wheels and reassemble the limber. Okay, let's see it again. The gun's steered around the corner by 5 and 6 at the front, and as the wheels are shrugged off, the weight of 1,250 pounds driven over. The main push comes from 3 and 4. 1 controls the lift when he sees everyone else in position. Going close, the other one's off. Then pour over, and in seconds they start erecting the rig. 10 throws up the 28 foot and 11 attaches a rope, whilst the heel fittings put on the back by 9. 17 takes the back of the 28 foot 100 pound spar. 16 and 18 break out the mushrooms and the sheer legs are pushed up. 12 holds the bottle and the leg in on the far side. 10 holds it on this side. I don't know, there's so much that goes on here. Again, 8 puts the necklace over the legs and 10 throws a leg over. As it goes up, the mushrooms go under the edge of the ramp at the rear of the 28 foot, and they secure the whole structure. The 28 foot goes in across to the sheer legs, and at this stage they're ready to swing. 16 puts the left mushroom in and shouts left. 8 shouts swing, because he knows he's got his mushroom in. 1 hooks a martingale, which is a bracket halfway down the back leg. It's a wire from the necklace and across the sheer legs, and it prevents the whole rig toppling forward. And 17 holds the whole lot under tension. Okay, 11, 15 the first and second swings, 15 carries the wire and 9 swings a 10 foot over. 11 erects it, while 15 secures the wire. The 28 foot's withdrawn, 17, 18, 7 and 16 lift back the rig. Each leg is 170 pounds and they place them in the shoes that should be set out by 12 and 13. The wire goes up and 13 bottles up on the screw at the back of the wire, making sure the wire's taut. 3 and 4 take the wheels of the limber, pick them up, go between the legs up the ramp, get the position from the traveller, shout to go, and 10 hangs on the back. They go across and shed the wheels at the other end. The carriage is boxed around the limber on the royal side. They put it between the legs, and when it gets there, they break the gun from the carriage. Get into position, and with 1 and 16 on the heavy breech end, and 2 and 12 on the far side, they place it on the ramp. That's damn heavy.
We went through this yesterday about a year ago.
The carriage wheels are shed, and it's turned. Driven up the ramp, and it's attached to the traveller by 5. 5, 6, 7 and 18 go across with it. 6 slips the carriage on the enemy ramp, and more turns on the box screw as the traveller returns. The carriage is lifted and the wheels put back on. The trail's dropped and they wait for the barrel. The traveller's attached by 1, and he and 2 go across on the barrel. 1 slips it on the enemy ramp, 2 jumps off and runs into the trail. The barrel's launched into the carriage with 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, next the gun wheels. 14 and 16 go up, they get their handholds ready. 14 gives a go, because he's normally the last one there. They shed their wheels and bowl them right through the enemy wall, and that's no mean feat. 8 and 7 follow them through, and they await the gun. Okay, the limber, 13 and 17 lift, and are then assisted by 12 and 18 who come back and take their positions up. They drive it up the home ramp. 13 hooks it on. They all climb on, and off they go. It weighs 350 pounds, and the slat's got to be steered around the 10 foot. Right, the enemy hole. 1's already through with a spike. 2 puts the trail in the hole. 3 and 4 take the wheels off. 8 spikes and turns the gun. Whilst 8, 5, 6 and 15 take the weight. 3 and 4 push the wheels through. 14 and 16 put the gun wheels on, and the gun goes to the action line. 1's got to take the spike out the barrel before it's fired. This is followed by the limber. 10 gives a turn, 18 drags it, 13 and 17 help throw it through the hole where it's lifted, and the previous gun wheels are now placed on it. The pins are put in and it's driven hard down to the action line. On the down and fire, 7 closes the breech and fires the first shell. 2 then extracts it and puts the second one in. 7 fires that, 2 extracts, and 7 takes the last one from the top of the gun, loads and fires. Okay, the run back. Right, go. 11 and 15 jump the wall, and as 9 throws the spike, they all run way up the enemy ramp, latch onto the traveller, big kick, and then they send the traveller back. Right, the limber turn, 8, 9, 17 and 12 and 13 on the front, it's driven to the wall, throw the pins off the wheels, lift it over, and it's trapped on the other side. The gun. 5 and 6 take the trail, 14 and 16 on the axles, they shed the wheels in, launch, push it over with 7 controls it on the far side. The wheels follow and reassemble while resting on the wall. Once the limber's over, 4 men lift it, 3 and 4 remove the wheels and run back to the enemy ramp, each carrying a 120-pound wheel. 3 gives the go, because he's the last on the traveller. The limber follows closely with 10, 12, 13 and 17. They lift the axle around the 10 foot. 13 hooks it on. The go's driven and away they go. 17 gives a slip on the home ramp. 3 men then carry all the way to the second action. Now the gun's driven up the enemy ramp as fast as they can. 7, 8 on the axle, 14, 16 driving hard, 5 and 6 at the back. 1 puts the trail down and 18 puts the mud spike between a low spoke on this side and a high spoke on the other wheel. 2 hooks onto the traveller and 5 and 6 launch the barrel with 1 and 2 riding across. 2 hooks it on and slips it at the far end. Carriage is stripped of its wheels, 7, 8, 5 and 16 weights. 8 hooks on and away they go. 5 slips it and the carriage is then built. 1 and 2 push the wheels on, the barrel's reassembled and away to the second action. Next across, 14, 16 and 18 and a pair of wheels. At the rig, the trainer's going to call out legs, then in legs. Then the Angel 9 removes the wire from the 10 foot. He prepares to go. 18 shouts go. And as he lands, the whole rig collapses. And 18 and 9 run down with the wire, making sure nothing's left in the chasm. 2 and 7 complete the firing. Waiting for the run back. Go! 15 and 11 push 1 through the drag ropes. He throws it into position. 14 and 16 roll our wheels through. 15 and 11 take them and wait for limber. The limber follows on its sides, picked up, put into position and the wheels placed on. 15 and 11 attach the drag ropes to the axles and the pins are inserted by 3 and 4. He puts the breech spike into the barrel and 3 and 4 box the guns at the hole. 5 and 6 on the back, 9 and 13 helps support the weight unit in the spine. Wheels off, barrel turned by 8 on the far side, the wheels then fed through and the same wheels go back on the gun. The gun's then buttoned up to the limber by 1 and 2 and the crew take up any position they can on the ropes and everyone pulls like 10 on the drag ropes over the line. And that's the end of the build and run. Easy, innit?
Elscott's a very different environment. Down here we know what's going on, we know our environment, we know all our friends are watching, and it's nice, fresh air. You can get out and do your stuff. At Earls Court, you're in front of a large crowd, indoors, it's hot and sticky, and I understand that guys are under a great deal of pressure. They also, of course, remember first time running against a crew that are really putting them under pressure.
Well, they live on the first floor in prefabricated section. They are sectioned up from the other 2 commands, so you've got section for Air Arm, section for Devonport, section for Portsmouth. They use a communal shower area and communal sink and WC areas. The actual accommodation, the standard of it is really dependent upon themselves. All they've got when they get there is 4 basic walls, no roof, and they've got to do something with it. They're living there for 3 weeks. Now they can either live in a certain amount of comfort, or they can live, well, it's not living, it's just a matter of coexisting with somebody else up there. What we do is we tend to put a muslin net over the top of the actual accommodation area. And this is to stop any dust that's flying around after the performance is settling down inside them. And we try and take up little niceties like lockers, things like that, so they can actually put their gear in and stow it away and have it nice and tidy. And in some circumstances we have carpets up there.
Well, I'm smiling because of the way that number one's putting it across. It's true. I mean, the thing is so basic, a concrete floor with these wooden partitions around you, and there's a bed, get on with it, you know, and then we rustle around at Philgar down here, trying to steal, beg and borrow, get hold of whatever we can to make it comfortable for the blokes. And as he says, when you mention carpet, everybody expects, well, carpet, everybody has a carpet, but a carpet is a real luxury, you know, and to have a locker, as he says, to hang your gear up in, goodness gracious, that's terrific.
I didn't know what to expect to start with. All the lads have said it was prefab buildings, but I couldn't actually picture it. But when you come in, it's just like having a little prefabricated house under a big warehouse roof. It is. You just come in and it's just like an 8-foot wall, square wall you come into. It's like a tent. It is, you think, and then you look around and every bed's about a foot apart. So you're literally living in a tiny square. and it's quite amazing. We've obviously got two messes, and both the same, approximately both the same size, and you have like a mess square in the middle where you stow all the weights and you do your gaiters and that. And we have, for the B crew, we only have 2 lockers or 2 wardrobes and 4 lockers to put all our clothes and track gear in, which is quite tight a lot of the time, you know. There's not a lot of space at all.
Quite a unique situation. Obviously they don't want Johnny Jack or anybody else mincing around with his towel around his waist and his bundle of goods in his hand with his toothbrush and all the rest of it. But Johnny Jack has got a function in life. He's got to go here and there, and the shower's over there. He's got to get there somehow. You can't expect him to go to this shower or bathroom, which is flooded because the last 100 sailors or soldiers have used it and they've splashed their water everywhere. It's flooded with dirty wash water. He's got nowhere to hang his gear up in there, so he's not going to go in his civvies and take them off, throw them on the floor, and then get them back on again. So he goes, and they try to not embarrass the public by saying, don't do this at certain times. It comes out all right. There's one or two people get offended a year, and it's not bad, really.
First 2 nights, I thought I could put up with quite a lot of things noise-wise from sleep. But as soon as I got here, I couldn't sleep at all for the first 2 nights because of the noise. Because you've got to be in bed by midnight. But even then, the hustle and bustle, and especially if you're trying to get to a half-an-hour kip during the afternoon when the performances are going, it's phenomenal, the noise. But you get used to it after a while. Well, it's a combination of all the messes, the bars, especially the bars. You can hear the bars above the rest, man. It's ridiculous.
A crew are that professional. They eat, train, sleep, do their washing and doving, and back in bed again for 12 o'clock. And that's it. They don't get a lot of time to mingle and mix, and they don't want to anyway because their mind is cast completely on this outrageous competition that's taking place. But the B crew lads do get a bit of time to themselves, or they're working in and around Earl's, so they will meet other people on other stands, other units from other services. And the rapport that's normally built up between the B crew lads or the field gun people who are not in the A crew, the staff, etc., is normally very, very good. And we enjoy being invited to have a drink with them, and they are always welcome to come into our mess and have a drink into our bar up there. Generally speaking, it's very important to have that dovetailing amongst the other services where you can ask them a favour as they might ask you one. We're forever begging off everybody because we need so much to keep our lads comfortable and happy.
The stands on the ground floor are just obstacles between me and the open air.
And first thing in the morning they've got a practice period. So they get up very early in the morning, a couple of guys rush away and get some tea and toast organised. They muster all down below by the side of the arena, ready to go on the track and work, get their equipment ready and prepared, and then as soon as the horses are finished, we go in there and we dodge amongst the horse manure and rig the arena ready for a practice period.
Well, we do, like I said, we do up to 8 inches a day. That's in and out, so that's quite a lot a day. That's 2, obviously, 2 for the public performances and 2 for the practice periods. We do 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, depending when you're running, in the morning or afternoon. That's basically B Crew's assignment once they've done the Copenhagen Cup runs early in the competition.
A crew are treated very professionally, and as they are the guys who have to run and compete every day and train every morning or afternoon, and the draw on their adrenaline during the day is quite tiring, so they're treated a little bit professionally and they're allowed to rest a bit and not do a lot. Whilst the B crew have to maintain the functions of the remainder of what's going on around field gun, because it could happen any moment, and any one of those could be suddenly, wake dad, put your broom down, you're in the arena. So from 10 o'clock, they would run off in their PT gear to any one of many venues that the PDR would have selected, such as Holland Park or Hyde Park, or we even went to Buckingham Palace one morning and sang God Save the Queen, and I'm sure she appreciated that. I know the American tourists did. And then on other occasions, we will take them for a cup of tea in St James's Park, which is almost a phenomenal sight for the tourists. They love to see all these blokes dressed in green shorts and green vests, sitting there eating sticky buns and cups of tea in the sunshine with the ducks quacking around their ankles. and they love it too, and then they left their own devices to get back to Earl's Court. So the object exercise, he's a professional guy, so he's not going to waste that time. He's going to use it as much as he can just to keep that bit of fitness going that they've got. At the same time as he doesn't want to wear them out because they're going to have to compete. At the same time as he wants to get them out of Earl's Court, in amongst the ordinary people, see some sights, do something different, and back again, having refreshed them and played a bit on their humour. Then go off, get changed ready for the performance in the afternoon. After the afternoon performance, it's get changed straight away into practice gear, and they go in the arena then for another practice period, ready for the evening performance. They then go back, bath and dobie, relax again, but in a very, very short period of time after that, they're getting changed ready for the 7:30 performance when they're back in the arena again. And that all finishes, they'll be finished completely at just after 10 o'clock in the evening. And they rush like mad then to try and get ashore for a couple of beers amongst the civilians, as opposed to their own bar within Earl's Court, which is all noise, all bang bang, all music and rattling and cussing, goodness knows what. So they like to get ashore where they can experience the same noises down the Earl's Court Road. Great deal of apprehension before you go in that arena. The rubbing of sweaty hands, the lump in the throat, the shaking, even the welling up of a tearful feeling of an emotional sort of anxiety. It's a lovely feeling actually, because it stirs up inside you things which you don't get to feel very often in your life. And then the doors open and it all happens, you brace up. The lads, you can feel the temperature from the lads.
And the doors open and the spotlights come on you, and all of a sudden you feel about 10 foot tall. And you march in there and you'll hear the crowds, and you'll maybe have a quick glance around the crowds, but you feel like you're the most important person in the world.
Marching out arena, the back of your hair stands on the back end and it stands out, and you march in there, you feel proud as a punch.
It's like, I thought the public runs were good back at Davis, but this is, the atmosphere is fantastic when you're out there, it really is.
Never stop shaking though, whatever you do. And then it's burning, 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 and away we go.
And then you just can't remember anything. You don't hear nothing. You don't hear the crowd. You hear your orders. You feel, you know what you're doing, but there's nothing else around you. You're totally committed to one object, and that is to run. Bang, 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 and then you look around and say, Maria, look at the time, what time is it? And you look at what time you've done your run out in. You feel yourself you've done a good one, or something goes wrong, you're aggressive again, and then run back is exactly the same. The adrenaline's back there again, and it's pushing you on. It's full of high and lows, but it's all highs at Earl's Court when you're in front of that public. It's all highs. But you cannot let your mind wander away from your job, because you just need a split-second distraction, and you might not have trapped something, or you might have trapped something, i.e. your hand or something like that. You might not have slipped something. at certain stages during each individual's run that he can relax a little bit, and then he becomes a little bit more aware of what's around him.
They had tremendous success in helping to relieve the siege of the township of Leeds. Really get off that final stage of the evening, getting through the nose of the third wall, the gun had to be dismantled in order to get it through sideways on. And when everything is through, they hook up and pull the herd.
Field gun provides, for many people, many different things. For the spectator, it provides an exciting, demanding, courageous event. For the people who are actually taking part, who are involved in it, it provides a means for a group of men, a large group of men, to become involved in a team unit of which there is no comparison throughout the world. It's a wonderful thing to be involved with, to be part of. And all its trials and tribulations, its hard times, its good times, there is nothing, I think, that can compete with it.
The season ends with a parade of trophies back at HMS Daedalus. During the competition, all of the men involved will have participated in a great spectacle for the public. But much more than that, they have undergone a form of character and leadership training that cannot be bettered anywhere in the world. And they return to the fleet richly rewarded by their experiences and able to pass this invaluable knowledge on.